Well, thank you for having me here today to tell you all about what Cancer Council is doing. Through collaboration, we're increasing our psychosocial support by working with individuals and businesses to do that. I'll just go through what kind of psychosocial support we offer at the moment, then the aims of collaborating with others, the methods we do that, some of the results of the collaborations, and then, of course, the implications for capacity building. The psychosocial support that we currently offer at Cancer Council there's several programs covering newly diagnosed patients, advanced and poor prognosis cancers, as well as carers and people who are bereaved. One of the programs that I'll go into more detail with is the Telephone and Internet Support Group program. The other one is the Cancer Connect program, and I think Fran Boyle may have mentioned that earlier today. That's one-on-one peer support. Both programs utilise trained volunteer cancer survivors and health professionals to deliver the programs, and participants are welcome from across Australia. They're national programs, but they're sort of coordinated through Cancer Council New South Wales. The aim of them is to support less well-supported people, so particularly from rural areas and people who can't get out and about. Don't worry too much about trying to negotiate this slide at the moment, but I just wanted to give you a bit of context on where these programs sit within the information support area of Cancer Council. So one of the areas within information support is our practical services area. That covers things such as our pro bono program, information centres, which are located within some hospitals, our survivorship programs, transport, and our financial assistance. Another unit is the information unit, and that's the area that publishes our booklets, that if you're in hospitals, you can order them and get them for your patients, plus a lot of stuff is available online. The area that I'm in is, I guess it's called the emotional area, but it's includes the 13 11 20 number. It's we have a training program for cancer support leaders, the telephone groups, the online support, and the Connect program. So just a little bit more about the telephone and internet support group programs. They're based on a mutual aid peer support model, and we heard already today that there's huge value in the patients themselves supporting each other. Some of the groups are open groups, meaning that you don't have to sign up and become a member. You can come and go from the groups as you like, and they just run twice a month. Other groups are much more suited to be closed or private, and that's where the same members join for each session, and they're usually held for a set number of sessions, for example, 6 sessions. Covering the telephone and internet support groups cover the advanced, poor prognosis and less well-supported cancers. And currently we have the advanced general group, an advanced breast group, pancreatic, brain, myeloma and carer groups. We're planning to start a melanoma group next year. We have a bereavement group, which is a closed group, and then we have a C-word group, which we're in the planning stages of, and that's for same-sex attracted and lesbian women. We are very close to starting an anal cancer group, and that group is specifically for men who are gay, bisexual, or men who have sex with men. That will be a closed group. And then online we have gynecological and head and neck groups at the moment. So they absolutely suit geographically isolated people and emotionally isolated people. The Cancer Connect program is the one-on-one peer support model, and we train people who have a lived experience of cancer to deliver that support to newly diagnosed patients. Discussions that they have could be anything around surgery, treatment, the side effects, how do you recover, how do you manage that, coping with physical changes, changed relationships, survivorship, and it really normalises the concerns of the newly diagnosed patient. So why do we collaborate? It's to extend the reach of our programs. We want more people to know that they exist. So if we're partnering with organisations and health professionals, they can refer their patients into the programs that already exist. We can also find out what other gaps there are and what other groups may want to support over the telephone. And so that's easy for us to start new groups. And we also want to increase the Peer Support Connect volunteer team to fill in those cancer gaps as well, or treatment gaps, because we find a lot of our volunteers may be with us for 10 or 12 years and the treatment has changed over that time, so we're always looking for new volunteers. Both programs offer a really fabulous opportunity for health professionals to join us and for survivors to join Cancer Council to deliver the programs. The collaboration means that smaller organisations don't have to pay anything to actually address their patient group. We don't want other people to duplicate services that we could already get going. So the delivery of the programs, as I mentioned, is through volunteers and the telephone and internet support groups. Our facilitators, so the groups are co-facilitated, so there's usually one Cancer Council person plus one volunteer facilitator with each group. And they come from a whole range of backgrounds, as you can see there, and importantly, end of life is a really big focus for us at the moment too. They're psychologists and counsellors. We love counsellors. Just a comment from this morning. And the Cancer Connect program, again, where we use trained cancer survivors. They must be in remission and in good health. The other thing that we've also sort of opened up with that program is acknowledging some chronic cancers. People live with cancer all their life. And I'm particularly thinking of the NETS group, which is the neuroendocrine group, or people who live with long-term side effects. I won't go through this whole slide, but we have a very good training regime with all our facilitators and volunteers. They do apply, they receive face-to-face training, and then there's regular debriefing and regular updates. The technology we use is a really important way for us to collaborate as well. Cancer Council uses Skype for Business, so it means that we're able to call people into all our telephone groups, and it doesn't cost them anything. They can be from anywhere in Australia, and that includes the facilitators as well. So some of our facilitators aren't in our office, obviously. They can be anywhere in the country and be facilitating the groups with us. And all our Connect volunteers are actually elsewhere, so they're calling from other places in Australia or New South Wales. We also utilise webinar to do some online training, update training. So we held the first one this year for our Connect volunteers, and that went off really well. So a webinar is we all know what that is. It's a live, interactive presentation. And then we can also have on our online community private internet groups for our facilitators and volunteers to meet privately together to discuss their experience working in the programs, and we can share information, latest research, etc. So here I have a few logos of some of our partners that we work with for the telephone and internet groups. Cancer Council Victoria, we have been working with them for quite a long time. They help co-facilitate both the telephone and internet groups. We have recently got from the Myeloma Foundation of Australia, a New South Wales support nurse who is now located in our office in Sydney. So she's really well placed then to take incoming queries about myeloma through our 13 11 20 number, and she also co-facilitates our telephone support groups for myeloma patients. I mentioned melanoma patients earlier. We have been working with the National Support Manager, who's based in Queensland. She has done our training, and we will be starting telephone groups. She just has so many people that she's trying to take care of, and you can only do so many face-to-face groups. PanCare Foundation is a wonderful collaboration we have with them. And it's really just new pathways for referrals to service. So we do referrals both ways in the organisation, to both organisations. And then we've got a group of health professionals, individuals who have come to us because they want to work with us and work with people who are affected by cancer. Registered psychologist from Sydney Uni, a consultant who works in end of life, and a PhD candidate working in sexual health, which is how we're able to work with the anal cancer men. And the results for the Connect program, so again we've got 27 peer support volunteers currently with the program. There was a gap that we knew we had within the CALLED group, and so the South Asian Women's Wellbeing Centre, I think, approached us to discuss that. How can they better support women affected by breast cancer? And so we got expressions of interest from ladies who joined us, visit the Wellbeing Centre, and we ended up training 5 new peer support volunteers. They speak languages such as Indian, Sri Lankan, Mali, Hindi, Tamil, Sinhalese and Bengali. So now we've opened up a whole new world for ladies affected by breast cancer from those areas, but importantly it's also going to be culturally appropriate peer support. Unicorn Foundation, I've already mentioned the NETs. They look after people affected by neuroendocrine cancer, and they've identified a couple of people that we've since trained to be our Connect volunteers as well, which is absolutely brilliant, and they've already had quite a few clients come their way. And we also work with Cancer Institute New South Wales, and that's about helping, again, utilising the experience of the Connect volunteers. They often get asked to help inform things like cancer plans, improve access to online information, and how can Cancer Institute better engage with the community, so they're able to tap into our resources as well. So that's another kind of collaboration that we have. So the implications of collaboration for capacity building are that the facilitators and volunteers get to increase their expertise and skills. We're able to quickly add new telephone support groups, and we can cover more cancer types and issues. We're able to engage with hard-to-reach communities, and I've mentioned those. We've got new referral pathways are opened up for health professionals out in the field. We have an increased reach for our clients. Webinar and online education is available to the people we work with, and we're not duplicating services, hopefully. And just to acknowledge, I'd like to thank my colleagues Kim Pearce, Annette Beattie, Sally Carveth, all our telephone and internet group facilitators, the Cancer Connect peer support volunteers and team members, and the organisations that we collaborate with and the individuals. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Gabrielle. So we've probably got time for a quick question, if there's any on the floor. Certainly, we've heard a bit about Cancer Council New South Wales' contribution to cancer services, and certainly I have a lot to do with them, and so does our organisation, and they do a fantastic job, and keep it up. Yes, there's a question at the back.
The student that you talked about that's working in sexual health, would that extend to men who've had prostate cancer surgery and erectile dysfunction?
It could. This is the first group of its kind that we'll be doing, so I guess it's sort of a tester for us, but there's absolutely no reason why we couldn't have a group. The difficulty with the rarer cancers is you don't have enough people to actually have a group, so it can take a long time to get it going.
Okay.
But yeah, sure, it's a possibility.
It wouldn't be a small group, I think it'd be quite large.
I'd be really happy to talk to you about it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Great, thank you very much for...
No?
Just in terms of anal cancer and things as well, are you liaising with or working with ACON or anything
Yes,
like that?
yes we are, yeah.
Can I add to that? Only because of the anal cancer work that we've done.
This is Kim Pearce from Cancer Council.
Kim Pearce from Cancer Council New South Wales. So the anal cancer work we've actually started because Cancer Council's funding research through the Kirby Centre, and through that out of that work we actually got some funding from the Aurora Foundation, and we've run a webinar which is on our Cancer Council website with 2 practitioners and a consumer, and out of that attendance we're actually bringing this support group together that'll happen on the phone. So we're collaborating as much as we can, because at the moment we're sitting there as 3 heterosexual women, and how do we invite this community in? So we're just about ready to go. So.
Great. Thank you again. We have a round of applause. Might hold any further questions to the end now, if that's okay. Sorry, just to